It seems that Colorado's student section didn't hit enough of the herb before Colorado started playing BYU. And that ended with, well, a $50,000 fine for what fans did and not the garbage that Colorado put on the football field against number 25 at the time, BYU. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think the $50,000 fine was warranted for Colorado after a video surfaced of fans chanting an epithet racially charged at BYU? I am not going to tell you what that epithet was, and I am not going to make reference to it except to say it's bad enough that the Big 12 decided that it got to hand a fine to the University of Colorado for fan behavior. Now, it's not hard for you to go find this, but the reason that the Big 12 gave for distributing this fine to the University of Colorado is, quote, hateful and discriminatory language has no home in the Big 12 conference. While we appreciate Colorado apologizing for the chants that occurred in the stands during Saturday's game, the Big 12 maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Colorado will receive a $50,000 fine in accordance with our conference policies. Now, there's a lot to say over here, and I think Colorado more or less summed it up when they put out this statement that said the University of Colorado Boulder strongly condemns the use of expletives and religious slurs by individuals in the stands during the recent football game against BYU. Such behavior is deeply disappointing and does not reflect the values of respect, inclusion, and integrity we expect of our campus community. Attending sporting events at CU Boulder is a privilege, and with that comes responsibility to uphold our fan code of conduct. The university and CU athletics have strict policy when it comes to abusive behavior, and those found to have engaged in conduct that is not consistent with our values are held accountable. So that usually means we're going to find out who was saying the what, and we're going to give them the what for and the how now, and that might result in you not being able to go to any more University of Colorado sporting activities. I agree with this in overall, and I think most people agree with this overall. And there's going to be lots said about just whose free speech might have been impinged on, and I don't think this is really a free speech issue because no laws are broken. They're just fining you, right? You could say what you want to say according to the First Amendment. However, what I think people misconstrue about the First Amendment is it ain't that you get to say what you want to say so much as it is you have to deal with someone else saying what you absolutely positively can't stand hearing. And if we're going to agree to be civil in a society, because that's what we decided we're living in, these are the kind of rules that we expect each other to abide by, and there need to be penalties for not abiding by such rules. This is why we have laws, and this is also why we have fines and or in some cases incarceration to rehabilitate from behavior. Sometimes it's just as quick as, hey, you can't come back no more. And the reason you can't come back no more is because we need the rest of everybody else to know that if you do this, you could suffer the same fate as this individual over here. Turns out human beings ain't really built like that. We will see what somebody else has done. We will see the consequences that they have endured. And somewhere, somebody, given history, will say, you know what, I can do it. It's fine. And sometimes they'll get caught. Sometimes they won't. As for Colorado, I think that the booing and the chants should have been directed toward the Colorado sideline. They gave up a 14-3 lead against BYU and lost 24-21 in a game where they could have got back into the national consciousness, the national presence of what we're talking about when it comes to playing for Big 12 championships or even the college football playoff with a win against what was and is an undefeated BYU team in a top 25 program. Caden Salter, after showing that he was absolutely that dude against Wyoming, showed he's absolutely not that dude against BYU. 11-16 passes for 119 yards, a TD, and a pick. He made some really terrible decisions in that game. And Bear Bachmeier, a true freshman quarterback wearing 47, outplayed him. 179 pass yards, 98 on the ground, and 2 total touchdowns. This is also Colorado once again falling to BYU for a consecutive time. And Colorado fans don't like it. And I get it, right? As Big 12 members, and I would even call them legacy Big 12 members because they were here when the thing created, even if they went to the Pac-12 and then came back. It's You really simply do not want to lose to BYU, who is new money. And there was a loud conversation about whether BYU would be a good fit for any major college football conference because they got their own way of doing things, right? Like alcohol sales, for instance, at football games. What would that mean or not mean? There might be a run on Dr. Pepper at Baylor. Who knows, right? I'm making a joke there, but the joke is abstinence is a big part of it, and refraining from what the public might engage in, like, say, premarital sex, something you can absolutely get suspended for, like Jake Retzlaff. They just don't want it. They just don't do it. And to make fun of someone for the way they choose to live their life, I've always found reprehensible. Don't let me stop with the do nots and the negatives. It has never been policy for me to look at how someone else lives their life and make a judgment about how they are making me feel. That doesn't matter to me. It shouldn't matter to anyone. They're doing something what they're doing, and if they're doing it and ain't hurting nobody, leave it the hell alone. Let people be weird. Let people be who they need to be until such a time as it is making a dent on what it is that you're doing in your everyday life. I tend to leave it alone. And I use a really stupid way of getting at this that is just life experience. My mom always saw around corners when it came to me. My father, not so much. So I've had dreads twice in my life. The first time, it didn't go so well. I had the dookie braids, the dookie locks. I just let them go. There was dandruff all over the place. I didn't know how to take care of them. Eventually, I ended up cutting off. My dad hated that stuff. My mom would say, his grades are amazing, so I don't care. Let him do what he wants with his hair. When I was really big into lifting, just before I won a national championship, I was 18 years old in high school, and I was getting bigger and I was getting stronger, but part of that is feeding the engine that makes all those things possible. So I used to house things like muscle milk and whey protein shakes like it was nothing. I mean, I drink them things straight up with no water with the whey protein if I couldn't get to it, or I might take the scoop, just drop it in my mouth, eat it, because that's the kind of dude I was, real meathead at the time, right? And we're talking about being 155 pounds and I'm pushing 335 off my chest at the time. My dad really liked that I could lift like that. He did not like that my 2001 Oldsmobile Alero coupe, by the way, that I blew up through riding that mug. Yeah, I'm that type of dude. When I was working at Pet Boys, through riding that mug. That's how badly I treated that car. I had a back seat that was just full of muscle milk cartons and empty water bottles, like empty water jugs. My dad lost his mind because cleanliness is next to godliness. RJ, you're an Eagle Scout. Why aren't you this clean? Why do I have to look at the back of your car and see a pigsty? To which my mama would say, Roy, it's my daddy's name, it's not syringes. It's not bottles of Old English or Mad Dog 4040. I think we're doing all right. I think the boy is doing all right. It's not even, why is it making a dent in your life that the boy is living as healthily as he can and he happens to be just a little bit messy in his car, right? That's how I view this. So when I see people making fun of others, like what Colorado student section was doing, I say, yeah, they're right. Deion was right to come after him. Rick George was right to come after him. Big 12 was right to come after him. What I don't know is that this is going to change. As a matter of fact, I know it's not. I don't think any fine that doesn't affect them particularly, that person in the stands, isn't going to have much sway. Even as the Big 12 is going, hey, we got to stick somebody with the bill. And it's y'all stadium. They're your fans, so you got stuck with the bill. Just like a field storming. You just wish it was a field storming fine and not one for yelling a stupid epithet when your team is losing the game.